if you're dealing with heel or arch pain, it's usually not about just stiffness or tightness. It's actually more about how your feet are aligned and how they're working. So in today's class, we're going to focus on three main things which are going to help you start to begin to bring some gradual transformation. So the three things that have to be happening consistently for any change to really occur is one, some kind of massage. And what we're going to use is a small ball to create a deep tissue massage that you can do by yourself every day. Number two is stretching and releasing and opening. Number three is strengthening and aligning. Now, with all those three things happening, you will feel relief. So let's start with the small ball, okay? And I want you to get one of these. If you don't have one, I'm leaving the link for it in the comments below, and you could purchase one on Amazon. It's like $5-6. So valuable. There are many types of balls, but this is absolutely my favorite. The size of it, the shape of it, like it's got these little things that stick out that just feel really good on your feet, okay? So if you don't have one of these, grab something that you might have. You can start with a tennis ball. It's not going to feel as good, so I highly recommend getting one of these, all right? So let's just start with a good amount of time massaging the sole of the foot. So we want to kind of focus on the main areas, the ball of the foot, right, which is all of your toe joints. We want to get that ball in to all of those toe joints. Now, with a ball like this, it's great. You do it standing, and you're just going to put your weight down onto it. And then you're going to move to another spot and do the same thing. Just push your weight down onto the ball like that. And you just find every single spot in your foot. And you hold, and you breathe for a few moments, and then you move to the next one. Now, while we're doing this, I just want to talk to you about the feet. So it's important to know that your feet have 3 arches in each foot, okay? Usually we just think about the inside arch. Actually, that's only one of them. The second arch is the outside edge of the foot, okay? That runs from the pinky toe to the outer heel. And then the third arch is the arch that goes across from your big toe mound to your little toe mound. So it goes across the foot. Now what we want is we want to get those 3 arches strong and lifted. Okay, so keep going for a little bit longer. You might get to your heel and just press the weight down into that heel. And of course, if you're dealing with, heel or arch pain or both, this is going to feel so good, but it's just temporary. If you only do massage, it's not going to fix the problem. Okay, so it's that combination of all these things that we want. So let's go to the other foot. And my recommendation would really be to spend at least 10 minutes on this. And you're going to feel a big difference. It's going to really release the tension in the foot, but get things moving, get the blood flowing there. Go to the ball of the foot, go all the way across to each toe joint, and really put all your weight down there. Kind of trace along all of the arches, right? You've got that inner arch there. You've got the outer arch. And you've got the arch that goes across from the big toe to the little toe. And then the heel. Again, just put weight down on that heel and find all those little spots there to work on. When you find one that's particularly intense, just try to gradually deepen the pressure and just breathe. And what I love about doing this stuff ourselves is that nobody else can feel your foot like you, right? So somebody else is giving you a massage. It's certainly nice, but they can't feel what you're feeling. But when you give yourself that massage, you can really find those places that maybe somebody else might not be able to. All right, so again, when you're doing this on your own, you're just trying to do at least 5 minutes on each foot. And then you can roll back and forth, which is also nice. But I would definitely recommend putting as much pressure as you can. Oh, that feels so good on my arch. Oh, I've always felt like when I massage my feet, it's like my whole body is getting a massage. And I think it's actually true. It's like our feet really do truly connect us to our entire body. And we learn this through reflexology, right? All the different parts of the foot are connected to different parts of the body, different organs. Okay, so now the last thing you're going to do with your ball is I want you to spend a few moments picking up the ball with your toes. So you just stand, you grab it with your toes, spread your toes, and try to just pick it up and hold it. Do it about 5 to 10 times on each foot. Just pick it up, put it down. Try to really spread the toes in order to grab the ball, and do the same on the other one. Spread the toes, try to pick it up, hold it for a moment, and put it down. Hold it, put it down. So we want your toes to start to get stronger here, okay? Now let's continue with some stretching and opening now, okay? So grab a chair or just sit on the floor, but if you sit on the floor, make sure you sit up on something, okay? So you're not sitting with a rounded spine. Now we're going to spend a little time putting our fingers between our toes. So take one foot, use the opposite hand from the back, so from the sole of the foot, start to thread your fingers in between your toes. Now, what I would suggest is that instead of putting the tips of the fingers in first, try to start from the base of the fingers. And then work your way from the big toe all the way down to the little toe and slide those fingers in. Now, I'm definitely aware that this is often easier said than done at first, so it might be quite painful, but that's a sign that you need this. Okay, that's a sign that things have gotten a little stuck and tight. So we want to loosen things back up again. So once your fingers are between your toes, hold on to your ankle and then just start moving your toes around in a circle. Both ways, back and forth. And then just however feels good, back and forth, circle, side to side, whatever feels good. Just get your toes moving a little bit and then slide the fingers in a bit further. Good. Now just get used to feeling that space between your toes here. Take a few breaths and start to spread the toes away from the fingers. And as you're doing that, you can then begin to slide your fingers out and keep the toes spread as much as you can. Now use your fingers and just gently, of course, pull the toes a little bit apart and then extend that foot down on the floor. And can you spread your toes now? Pushing the heel down and spreading the toes wide. So it looks like that. Really, really spreading, trying to create as much space in between those toes as possible. So what you're doing right now is you're stretching your toes, right? You're stretching the sole of the foot, stretching the ball of the foot. So let's do the other one. Bring that foot down, cross the other ankle, and then opposite hand to foot, slide the fingers in. So your hand is coming from the sole of the foot rather than the top of the foot. Okay, now once your fingers are in there, you're going to just hold them in, hold your ankle, and then start to just circle the toes around in each direction, up and down, back and forth. And just breathing here. Just starting to create some space there. Good. Now hold it here. Take a few breaths. Maybe slide the fingers in a little bit further. And then you're going to spread those toes out as much as you can, and then begin to slide your fingers out, away from your toes, but keep your toes spread as wide as you can. Now use your fingers just to spread them out away from each other, a little bit more. Keep that space, keep that spread. Put your heel down on the floor and keep spreading those toes. So your goal is to create space in between each toe. And begin to stretch the ball of the foot back out again, which then in turn also stretches the arch of your foot. This is so important, you guys, to realize. If our heels or our arches are in pain, it's often to do with the toes. The toes are so stiff and tight that then it makes everything else stiff and tight. So the moment the toes start to open, you're automatically stretching your arches and into your heels. All right, so now shake out your toes, and then we're going to stand up for a moment. And we're just going to look at this spreading of the feet or toes from standing. So bring your feet to parallel and hip width distance apart. Look down and just make sure that your toes are spread, just like you did when you were sitting down a moment ago. And I want you to just feel, as you spread your toes, how that lifts your arches. Okay, now I want you to relax your toes and just let the toes go completely soft. Don't do a thing with your toes. Now notice your arches. Can you feel all those little imbalances coming back, or the arches are just feel like they're flat? Right, now let's do it again. Spread the toes as wide as you possibly can and begin, at least begin, right? It's going to get easier the more you do it, but just begin to feel your arches starting to lift. Now let's think about those 3 arches on each foot now. So spread the toes, feel the inner arch first, lifting. Then feel the outer edge of the foot, the outer arch, and then that arch that goes across from the big toe to the little toe. How all of those arches are lifting now because of your toes. It's incredible, and also really important that we use our toes properly. Okay, we really realize when we do this kind of work how much we need our toes. So shake out your feet. Now, this is my all-time favorite here. I want to tuck the toes under and stretch the toes, and of course then stretch the arches of the feet, even the heels. So you can do this sitting straight down like this. If this is okay for your knees, for your ankles, you can do this. Now, what I want you to be careful of when you're doing this is that your ankles don't go out like this, collapsing out to the side. So once you're in your position, squeeze your ankles in so that they stay straight, okay? And you're pressing more weight to your big toe mounds. Try to sit upright as much as you can and breathe there. And then if this is too much, alternative is to put your knees up on a height. And that will make it a little bit easier. Okay, so pick which one you're doing and stay and breathe here for about 10 more breaths. Try to work towards being upright. But if that's too much at first, you can lean forward a little bit. Keep squeezing your ankles in. Feeling that big stretch on the big toe joints and up into your arches and your heels. Last 2 breaths here. Okay, now let's untuck the toes. Now for this one, can you bring your ankles together? So you're trying not to let them splay out like this as you sit down. Can you squeeze your ankles in, push your toenails down, and now sit down? Keeping the ankles hugging in is not easy. You may not be able to keep them together, but you're trying your best to keep them in as much as you can. Now, of course, that's going to give you a huge stretch on the tops of your feet. So you could have your hands on blocks here. Just squeezing those ankles in, slowing down the breath. So we're on our next phase, right? We're on the phase of stretching, and then we'll get to the strengthening afterwards. So let's do these 2 one more time. Tuck the toes, sit on the heels, squeeze the ankles in, stay on the big toe mounds. Put something under your knees if you need it. And you might already feel this is actually a little bit easier. Slowing down your breath. Let's do the other one more time. Untuck, ankles together, knees together. Sit down on your heels, squeezing the ankles in, sitting up. Pushing your toenails down. Lifting up, lengthening through your spine. All right, now we're going to go for our next phase here of stretching. So you're going to come up and stand. So we're going to put the blocks like this. And you could always do this by a wall, or you can have a chair for one of your hands, okay? I don't want you to feel unstable when you're doing these things. So give yourself what you need. Go by a wall. It's totally fine. Now, you're going to do this one with both feet or 1 foot at a time. Calf stretch. So your heel is going to come down onto the mat and the ball of the foot is going to come up onto the edge of the block. Now, 1 foot is a little easier because you don't have to worry about balance as much. 2 feet is a little more tricky, but doable. So maybe you do both feet at the same time, or you just do one. You choose. Now breathe here. And you're going to feel a big stretch on those calf muscles. Try to stand up tall, lifting up through your spine. Being careful not to roll out on your ankles. So keep, as always, more weight to the big toe mounds. Now step off. That was a big stretch on the calf muscles. Now we're going to do the opposite. We're going to step in front of the blocks and put our heels up onto the blocks and have the balls of the feet down. So this is kind of like you're wearing high heels. But it feels really good on those ankles. It's a great stretch. And again, be by a wall if you need to be. Be very careful here to feel safe. And push down through those big toe mounds. And you want to feel like you're actually trying to lift your heels off the edges of the block. Pressing down through the big toe mounds. Of course, toes are spread, lifting up through the spine. Good. All right, let's step off. Shake out your feet, shake out your ankles. All right, see how we're stretching them in all ways. Now, I want you to get a chair and have the back of the chair facing you so you can have your fingertips on it. And then you're going to step onto your blocks. And you can do this without holding the chair, but I want you to feel stable at first, all right? Now you're just going to go up and down. You're going to Lower your heels a little bit. Just make sure the blocks don't tip, and then rise up onto the balls of your feet. Lower and rise. Lower and rise. So just starting to get into a little bit more of a strengthening direction now. Strengthening and stability. Stay on the big toe mounds. Lifting all the way up into your core. Let's just do a couple more here. Now step off, shake out your feet. Good. Now stand again with your feet parallel, hip width, and spread your toes. Lift your arches, feeling the significant difference when the toes are spread, how much the arches are lifting versus when the toes are relaxed, everything collapses. Good. Now begin to feel from these arches lifting, the legs lifting, right? The muscles in the legs are automatically starting to tone. Let's stretch the arms overhead and pull the energy from the arches up through the legs and all the way up into your core and all the way up into your spine. Reach up. Good. Bring the arms back down. Take a pause. All right. Good. Now move your chair to the side. Come down to your hands and knees. We're going to take a downward dog and just pedal out the feet here, okay? So you'll place your hands and lift up. Now you're going to lift your sit bones high in the sky. Keep the sit bones lifting high and then just begin to bend and straighten one leg at a time. Pushing the heel back and down as you lift the other heel up, stretching out your toes. So you're stretching your ankles, you're stretching your toes. The key is to keep the sit bones sticking up in the air. So you really get that good release. Okay, bring your knees down, child's pose. Now we've got one last thing to do today. And you can do any or all of it. All right, let me show you. Now you can use your blocks here in front of you. And you're going to start with your toes tucked. You'll go like this. Then you'll untuck your toes. Sit back like this. Tuck them again. This time you're going to lift your knees up. Put your heels down. Remember, you can do any of it or all of it. And then you're going to stand up, spreading your toes and lifting your arches. Then you're going to go back down into that squat. Put your knees down, tuck the toes, untuck the toes, sit on the heels. That's the sequence. Here we go. Tuck, sit on the heels. Lift your hands, stand up, spread the toes, lift the arches, back down. Bring your knees down, untuck, sit on your heels. Again, lift up, tuck the toes, sit on the heels. Lift the knees, heels down, stand up. Let's do a few more together. Knees down. You can even maybe try to start doing it without using your hands at all. That's an option. Just getting these toes, these feet stronger and more agile. Let's do two more together. Breathing smoothly. Remember, when you do stand up, spread those toes. Whoop. Standing up, coming down. Last one, stay down here now. Scoot backwards if you need to on your mat. Come down into a child's pose. Breathing, lengthening through your spine. Thank you guys so much for joining me in this foot journey. Now, this is just the beginning, okay? This stuff takes consistency to really have an effect. If you just do it once, nothing's really going to change. So make sure you subscribe to my channel, stay with me so we can practice to get together and get those feet feeling strong and amazing and how they're connected to your whole body. Namaste. I'll see you next time.